Hey everybody, Tim here with today's episode of Lost in Space, Season 2, Episode 6, Severed. This was a great episode. This was really enjoyable. I had a lot of fun with it, and probably my favorite episode so far. So, we already know that there's this thing that is eating away the metal. It's rusting everything. It's just devouring everything. So I didn't even think about it, so I'm glad they did. But the opening scene where this guy, his leg just gives out, and he's like, well, I have 4 pins in my knee. And they're like, no, you don't. They're not there. So it's eating through anything, which means it's actually already in his body. So stuff like that, it's really interesting. I'm having a lot of fun with that, and I'm curious to see where they're going to go with it. We still see Maureen and Will out looking for the robot for a lot of this, which is still interesting, and I like where that's going. I'll leave that because there's a big twist at the end of this one. So, let's see, who is it? It is VJ, it's Penny, and Dr. Smith and her teacher are actually trapped in the classroom. And because of this rust growth, they can't escape out of it. And so people are trying to go through the walls to get to them. And when they open the walls, it's just full of this, it looks like a fungus to me. It really does. And so it's all over. So they're like, how do we even get there? And so Dr. Smith has the terrible line to Penny where she's like, you have to think of a way to get us out of there. And Penny's like, I don't know. My mom and Judy and Will, they're the smart ones. And Dr. Smith's just like, okay, you're not the best Robinson, but you're the only Robinson we've got. Come up with something. So that it's kind of amazing. And then of course when West ends up coming up with the idea, and he's just like, get in the box, we're shooting you out of space. And it's like, oh, that escalated quickly. And then I don't know, you start to see more Dr. Smith for this one, where first she tries to talk the teacher into killing himself, and he's like, I'm going to stay behind because only 3 people can fit in the box, not 4. And Penny's like, no, it's everybody or nobody. And then finally, when they start to get in, they figure it out. The doctor ends up being, or the teacher ends up being claustrophobic, and he can't crawl inside. And so Dr. Smith has to use her powers for good and actually manipulate him into the box. And so it was really intense. West actually gives away his smuggler secret, where he's like, they'll survive in the box. And they're like, how do you know? And he's like, I've smuggled steaks. And so now everybody knows, and he is arrested right after saving the day. So it's really disappointing. This is not the West of the original series, the Colonel West or whatever. This is Smuggler West. So to make him the bad boy, it's kind of interesting. I like how they're doing it. On the planet, the whole thing with the robot is really intense, where they actually find him, and when they're in the cave, and Will's like, wow, you've done painting and all sorts of stuff, and then he sees that the robot is wounded, and it's not actually his robot, and he's like, robot should stay here. And Maureen's just like, nah, he can come with us. And he's like, no, that's a bad idea. It's a really bad idea. And it's just like, oh, that's the bad robot. And then, of course, when he does, come out, and the guy, whatever technology this guy had, and he just, crushes the robot with it, was super intense. And then, of course, the real robot kind of comes to the rescue. So they finally find the real robot halfway through the season, but they finally do. Overall, I'm really enjoying it. I think it's a lot of fun, and it's good. It's this one, like I said, has a lot of adventure between the Penny getting shot into space, robot battles. It's got everything. For those who have seen it, like I said, we are past the halfway point. What are you guys thinking about Season 2? Go ahead, let me know. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time for Evolution.